Thieves will steal our cars, our valuables, just about anything they can get their hands on. To cut down on crime and antisocial behaviour, police and other agencies are using new tactics and technology where the bad guys get caught in the act.
Brilliant footage. Police officers love CCTV.
Local councils, shops and businesses are laying some traps of their own.
As soon as he walked into the picture, I knew who he was.
And the general public too can help unsuspecting crooks get their comeuppance.
We definitely needed proof.
You're not going to get away with it, you might as well pack up.
It made me swallow with pride, it was brilliant.
So, anyone who's up to no good had better think twice. They might just get caught red-handed. Today, a new police computer system closes in on a violent robber who mugs a man at a cash point.
An unprovoked, vicious, violent attack.
The moment that Molly realises her money is missing and her shock at where it's been going.
Very disappointed that anybody could fool me.
And in Wales, police track criminals fleeing over 100 miles after a crime spree away day.
It certainly left us feeling violated, I suppose.
Chorley in Lancashire.
Good morning. Good morning. My leg rolls upside down this morning. Yeah.
A cheerful greeting for 89-year-old Molly from one of her carers who has just arrived to help her get dressed. That's Molly going through to the bedroom. We can see what's going on because her family have set up a hidden camera.
Right, Molly, I've got to shoot off now. I shall see you in a week's time.
They suspect that one of the several carers who come in to help Molly is actually helping themselves. But they can't be sure and need to prove it.
No, there's no money gone.
All right.
At least I don't think there is. It's
Should be a £20 note, 4 pence and
There's only 3 tens.
Mum just kept counting the money over and over again.
Do you like that? Yeah, it's pretty, isn't it? Yeah, I think.
Molly's now a great-grandmother and she's lived in this flat in Chorley for the past 5 years. She moved here from Stockport to be closer to her family.
When I first came here, I used to walk around the quadrangle here, and I've got quite a few friends that, you know, that I could always stop and have a little chat with. And my family are wonderful.
My mum will chat along with anybody and she loves having a good laugh. She's just a very friendly person.
Molly's just as happy with her own company.
I always say I've got fiddling fingers. And my delight in life is a needle and cotton and do embroidery.
Molly's other love was walking, but this came to an abrupt end after she started to suffer from serious circulation problems.
She went into Preston Hospital to have angioplasty in both her legs.
But unfortunately, the surgeon found that Molly's left leg had deteriorated and they had to take drastic action.
Hey, presto, I mean, I've not had very little warning. They removed my foot, which of course put a stop to my gallivanting.
So she nearly lost her life, but she's a fighter.
And fight on she did. After weeks at a rehabilitation centre, she insisted on moving back into her flat on her own.
Everybody was very, very kind to me, but I don't like other people telling me what to do, if you know what I mean. I like my independence.
But with her disability, Molly now needs extra help. Gwen and her sister Kath visit every day. They also employ an agency to send several carers.
They're very important to me. I can't even get dressed on my own.
The carers come in to help and also to take Molly shopping. But it's daughter Gwen who takes care of the finances. She regularly withdraws £200 for her mum from the bank and places it in a bedroom drawer.
This worked really well. The money that I withdrew out for her, it lasted about over a month.
But after a while, Molly seems to be going through the cash a lot quicker.
My mum said to me, "I'm running out of money, Gwen. Do you think you could get me some more money?"
At first, Gwen doesn't think too much of it. Perhaps her mum's been spending more than usual, but Molly keeps asking for more.
A fourth time, she asked me. After that, I was absolutely convinced that money was going.
Gwen discusses the matter with her husband Phil and sister Kath. With Molly's agreement, they move the cash from the bedroom drawer to a locked cabinet.
We actually thought whoever was taking the money would think that we're onto her and it would stop there and then. However, money started going missing out of Molly's purse.
This worry about the money is very unsettling for Molly.
It was not knowing where my money was going to that was getting me down a bit.
The family know if someone's taking money, they must be one of Molly's regular visitors.
Now, everybody was under suspicion.
One of these is guilty, and it could be any one of them.
We would have to work out which one.
By counting the money, writing down the notes that were in my mum's purse, and then checking, especially on Tuesdays after she'd been shopping, I narrowed it down to one particular carer.
They tell Molly that they suspect it's one of the carers who goes shopping with her, but she just can't believe it.
I kept saying, no, I didn't suspect that she'd do anything, because to me, she's absolutely wonderful.
The family decide to get proof and start looking at spy cameras.
My son, who's a videographer, came up with a suggestion that we could purchase a camera built into a clock.
Phil installs the camera and sets it to record on the next shift the carer's working.
I was pleased for Phil to do it, because I wanted an end to all the fuss and the mither.
Molly's purse is left in its usual place, under a cushion on the sofa. The family know it contains £65.
Good morning. My leg rolls upside down this morning. Yeah.
The carers come to get Molly dressed.
Right, Molly, let's take you to the bedroom.
She spends 5 minutes with Molly in the bedroom. Then she pops back to the lounge to fetch something. But first, she heads straight to where Molly's purse is hidden, taking a quick look around to check no one is watching. She steals a £10 note, putting it straight into her coat pocket. She picks up the item she came out for and calmly heads back to the bedroom. A few minutes later, Molly's dressed and ready to come back into her living room. The woman readjusts the cushion. 20 minutes later, she's off home.
All right, you take care, won't you? Yeah, and say the same to you. You take care.
Gwen phones her mum to check if there's any money missing.
And she said, "No, I've been with the carer all the time."
Then Kath phones Molly to make double sure.
I said, well, will you just go and check your purse? Just go and see how much money's in it.
Molly counts the banknotes.
There's a £20 note, 3 tens and a 5. 10 gone then. 20, 30. Could be a £20 note, 4 tens and a 5. There's only 3 tens. Well, 10's gone then this morning.
Molly's visibly shocked that the £10 note is missing.
Very disappointed that anybody could fool me.
Gwen takes the footage to the care agency.
They were absolutely shocked because this lady had been working for them for 20 years.
Gwen then goes to the police, who arrest the carer. At first, she denies everything.
She'd started claiming she'd taken the money on Molly's instructions to go and buy some cream.
But as the footage has recorded sound as well as pictures, it's clear that this was not true.
Right, Molly, I've got to shoot off now. I shall see you in a week's time.
By the time the woman gets to Crown Court, she pleads guilty. She is sentenced to 12 weeks in prison, suspended for 2 years and ordered to pay costs. Molly's now positive again about her future with the rest of her carers.
Oh, it's over and done with. There can only be one of her type that I'm likely to come. I've had my quota.
Now Molly has stopped losing money, she can get back to spending it on what's important to her, like her great-grandson Sam.
A big, big fire engine, isn't it?
My mum forgets all the troubles when Sam's around. He's just so wonderful with my mum.
And his squirt of water.
Sam could always bring a smile to my face, always. He's wonderful.
Hello. Oh, yeah.
Coming up, in Wales, it's Christmas time, but this gang are intent on spoiling the festive fun.
Absolutely horrible. Did put a dampener on Christmas spirits a little bit.
24-hour cash points, we love them, because it means a lot less trips to the bank. What's convenient for us can also be convenient for criminals. This is the area outside a small supermarket in Darlington, where a security camera records a frightening assault on a customer as he uses a cash point built into the wall of the shop. Suddenly, a robber armed with a wooden baton rushes up and threatens the man for his money. But the customer bravely refuses and cancels the transaction. Angry, the violent attacker resorts to brutality.
Beat him around the head 6-7 times with a lethal weapon. I mean, this could have been so much worse had the lad not got away.
Durham police need to catch this dangerous mugger quickly, and as we'll see, they're going to do it with the help of some clever new computer software. Detective Constable Neil Stannard has worked in Darlington for 8 years.
Darlington's a lovely town. I live in Darlington. I police Darlington. It's a nice place to live. But there is crime, like there is crime in every town, village and city.
Also, like other towns and cities, Darlington has a CCTV control centre that often provides images of people who commit crime. But police need to know more than what a criminal looks like. They need to know who they are. And Durham police have found a way to help put a name to a face.
We developed Caught on Camera, which is a software programme which enables officers to upload images from crime scenes and circulate it to every member of the constabulary with the idea of somebody being able to make an identification.
It's simple to use and everyone in the whole force can take a look at the CCTV mugshots.
With a quick click of the button, they can access the system, and what we can see is that there are currently 59 images circulating across County Durham of unknown suspects that are active as we speak.
If anyone recognises the face, they type in the details.
That goes directly to the visual ID unit, who then pull together an intelligence package to send out to the officer who's in charge of that particular investigation.
With around half the faces being identified, the system is a success. And it's proving a vital tool in identifying criminals such as this violent robber who attacks a man at a supermarket cash point in Darlington. A security camera shows the customer coming to get some money from the cash point machine on the wall.
And that's when he describes a presence coming from behind.
He spins around to see a threatening figure bearing down on him with a wooden baton.
Before the victim withdrew any money, he managed to press cancel on the transaction and just defended himself as best he could.
Enraged, the mugger starts to hit the man with the baton.
Just an unprovoked, vicious, violent attack. Thankfully, our victim manages to grapple his way free and straight to the supermarket, where he literally shouts for help.
The victim is taken to hospital with nasty cuts on his head, but worse than that, he's left traumatised by the experience.
The victim suffered quite badly weeks and months after the event. He panicked going outside, very nervous. He kind of become a recluse.
Neil starts investigating the attack. There are no witnesses able to describe the mugger, and the terrified victim's memory is mostly a blur.
In those circumstances, it's difficult for people to provide a really detailed description.
Neil's only hope is the shop security footage.
I had a look at the CCTV, and thankfully, everything was there, which, believe me, is is rare. So we were all rubbing our hands in the office. Brilliant. We've got this CCTV. Somebody will know who this person is.
And Neil now has some extra help from technology. He sends the attacker's image to their caught-on-camera system.
The first couple of days was quiet. We didn't hear anything back. I'll be honest, I started to worry and think, oh dear, you know, somebody must know who this is. A couple of days later, a uniformed colleague who works the beat in that area came into my office with a piece of paper, a photograph of the offender, and said, that's your man.
That man is called Max Pryor. Neil quickly finds out where he lives and goes to arrest him with a number of officers.
The offender answered the door, he let us in. He was very calm, placid, completely different to what we were expecting and what we had seen on CCTV. I explained why I was there, and I arrested him.
They search Pryor's house for evidence. They can't find the wooden baton, but they find a familiar-looking jacket.
So you can see the lighter colouring by the zip and by the pockets, and also the cords coming from the hood. Being aware that the victim had bled quite a lot from his head injuries, I was hoping that we would find his blood on the offender's jacket, which would make our case watertight.
The jacket's sent to the lab for forensic analysis. Pryor makes no comment during police interviews, apart from stating he's not guilty. But then results come back about the jacket. They confirm it's the victim's blood.
It backed him into a corner. The plea changed to guilty. So there was thankfully no trial for the victim, which is important. And it just makes life easy for everybody.
Pryor is sentenced to 3 years in prison for attempted robbery and 12 months for the possession of an offensive weapon. It's a pleasing result for Neil and his colleagues.
It's what I joined the job to do, catching bad guys and putting them in prison. This crime would never have been detected had it not been for caught on camera. This mill would still be out on the streets.
And Caroline's also pleased about the success of their new software.
At the heart of it for me is those victims. The more identifications that we have, the more victims that can get great satisfaction from knowing that we've been able to bring those offenders to justice.
Crimes involving violence are unusual, but there are things we can do to keep ourselves and our cash safe.
What we often find is the offenders are sat nearby in a vehicle or stood nearby watching the machine.
Be very guarded who's standing around you when you use a cash point. If there's anyone you're unhappy with whatsoever, then move to a different one or wait.
If you think you're being followed or there's somebody there you're a little bit uncomfortable with, then walk towards other people. They're very unlikely to try and do this in a crowd situation.
Now, was it Bill or was it Ben? Who is the mystery flower pot man? Hornchurch, Essex. It's 2 AM and a man reaches for a plant in this front garden. Is he a friendly neighbour offering a free gardening service? Well, not exactly. He uproots a recently planted shrub and casually throws it away. The homeowners had been wondering what kept ripping up their roses and devastating their dahlias. So they set up CCTV cameras to get to the root of the problem. And they find they've got a large garden pest. He wrenches out a second shrub and again just chucks it to the ground. But grabbing his third victim, the dirty digger spots the new camera. Like a bug in a Venus flytrap, he's been snapped. Staring at the lens, he saunters off. Funnily enough, this was the last time the homeowner's flora got interfered with. Police are keen to identify the phantom flower flinger. Unfortunately, his dirty green fingers didn't leave any prints at the scene of the crime. Maybe someone will grass him up. Crooks quite often travel some distance to commit their crimes because they believe crossing the county line keeps them one step ahead of the law. But not in this next case. It's 3 days before Christmas on a stormy night in Narberth, Wales, and an enterprise park is under attack. These burglars have travelled more than 100 miles to raid these businesses.
We probably lost somewhere in the region of £30,000 worth of tools.
Christmas presents had been stolen.
It certainly left us feeling violated, I suppose.
But there's little for the police to go on. They have 2 unrecognisable figures on CCTV, a list of stolen goods and a few muddy footprints.
We didn't really think they'd find anything. We didn't really think they'd catch them.
Narberth is a popular small market town.
Narberth's a lovely place. We're all local. We've all sort of lived here a long time.
People like Narberth. It has a nice feel to it. It's very much a country village town. So yeah, I mean, you know, we help each other.
And just outside Narberth, they built an enterprise park to house growing local companies. Linda runs a busy cleaning company from here.
This is my life, other than my family. I've got over 100 staff here, so I'm looking after a lot of families, making sure there's bread on their table. So I spend more time here than I do in my own home. Yeah, it's really, really important.
All right, yeah.
Jonathan and his partners manage a garage, but they also rent a couple of units here, renovating old vans into shiny, good-as-new campers.
It is a passion and it is something that we enjoy doing. We did one and it went well and we sold it. We took on extra staff then, purely to do the vans.
There are CCTV cameras on the park, but there's never been any trouble before. So at night, there's no security patrols or alarms.
You just don't really think that people are going to come down from the big towns and big cities and target sort of small towns like ourselves.
And in late December, it's easy to get wrapped up in other matters.
It's a really happy time, all looking forward to going off for Christmas.
But the mood was about to change. On the Saturday night before Christmas, a couple of Grinches pay a visit. It's nearly 11 p.m. and it's wet and blustery. 2 men walk into the park. They first scout the entire area. A small car drives in, turns around and exits. The men walk towards these units where Linda's cleaning company and Jonathan's workshop are based. They force the door with an iron bar. Once inside the garage, they take a look around. The pair are in no rush. They've got all night. They then break into Linda's building. Over the next 3 hours, they burgle 5 more businesses, bringing the stolen items back to the camper van workshop. They reverse one of Jonathan's vans in and load it up with their haul. With the stolen van stuffed full of expensive tools and even people's Christmas presents, the thieves head off. The business owners don't find out about the raid until Monday morning, and it's a big shock.
It's just that knot of, oh no. And, you know, and how much damage, how we're going to carry on. Just before Christmas, we've got cottages we're doing, offices we need to clean. Have they corrupted our databases? You know, there's so much stuff that, you know, they could have damaged.
Thankfully, Linda's computer system was intact, but the burglars had caused about £5,000 worth of damage. They also stole £1,000 worth of goods, even taking a bottle of sparkling wine that had been given to Linda by one of her clients.
Very small item, but, you know, it was just, you know, it felt personal.
But it was Jonathan's workshop that took the biggest hit.
We probably lost somewhere in the region of £30,000 worth of tools, compressors, welders and parts as well.
And that's not including £12,000 for the van they stole.
So yeah, it was horrible, absolutely horrible. Did put a dampener on Christmas spirits a little bit.
Officers from Dyfed Powys Police arrive. Detective Constable Andrew Cousins investigates the case. They find some muddy footprints, but the burglars can't be identified from the CCTV footage. However, it still gives Andrew a clue.
The offenders were seen entering the Enterprise Park at around about 11:15. The transporter was seen leaving the Enterprise Park at 2:45. So that gave us the timeline.
Putting that information together with some local knowledge, Andrew tries to find out which direction the van went in.
We knew that the A40 may give us avenues of other CCTV. I visited a filling station on that road and I could see what I believed to be the stolen transporter travelling eastbound towards the M4.
Motorways are covered by cameras and they give Andrew a chance to track the van along the M4.
Which indicated to us that the vehicle had travelled eastbound all the way through the Dyfed-Powys, South Wales Force area and into the Gwent Force area.
It shows the burglars travelled over 100 miles to make their raid, and the cameras give another possible lead.
There may have been a car travelling with the stolen vehicle.
This other car could solve the mystery of how the burglars got all the way to Narberth in the first place. There was that car seen in the business park just after the burglars arrived.
Myself and colleagues, we travelled to the Gwent area in order to speak to the register keeper.
The owner is a young woman. She tells Andrew she was driving back from Swansea with a male friend. A search of their homes reveals nothing, but Andrew's not convinced. He has their mobile phone numbers, so he can check phone company records and find who they've been talking to.
And that showed that they were in contact with people known to the police from the Gwent Force area at the time the burglaries were taking place in Narberth.
These are the two men they contacted that night. It's CCTV footage of them playing games at a motorway service station on the M4, about an hour and a half before the raid at Narberth. And lo and behold, these other two people with them are the female owner of that car and her male friend. After having a hunch that the gang may have stopped at services, Andrew unearthed this footage after a painstaking search.
And through our colleagues in Gwent, we were able to identify the people on that footage.
The two men are 37-year-old Llewellyn Luce and 28-year-old Anthony Jones. All four are arrested and have their property searched. They find some evidence at Lucy's.
About 4 items from the garage were recovered. We found the trainers, which had left the impression at one of the scenes. We found the bottle of Carver, which one of the victims was later able to identify. Similarly, the box of Belgian chocolates.
Andrew and his colleagues have cracked this long-distance case and all the burglars plead guilty in court. Anthony Jones is sentenced to 4 years in prison. Llewellyn Luce is jailed for 21 months. The woman and her male friend are both given 2-year jail sentences, suspended for 2 years, and have to carry out 240 hours of unpaid work for their community. The businesses on the park have been busy since the break-in. They've stepped up their security with alarms and more CCTV. The excellent police work also helped them recoup some New Year cheer.
Can't praise them enough, to be honest. They did an absolutely amazing job. Lovely feeling when they caught them, even better when they prosecuted them.
Really warm feeling that, you know, these people weren't going to be doing it to somebody else.
They were genuinely grateful, I believed, and it gave us as a team a lot of satisfaction.
That's it for today. Join us next time when the police and the public catch more criminals red-handed.
EastEnders tonight, and as Ronnie lays unconscious in hospital, Charlie's anger is fuelled by Nick at 8. And later, in the first of another new 2-part story, a case that takes us to the depths of the London Underground in Silent Witness at 9. Rip Off Britain on holidays, next on BBC One.